Okay. Is it recording now? Great. Excellent. Well, again, so glad you all are here together this afternoon. And thank you, Susan, for being open to getting your scan done on video, because this is so helpful. And I'm excited to walk you through this. If you want to share with us a little of your background, again, just to share why you'd be even open to this kind of thing.
I'm a functional nutritional therapist, and I started this journey for my son who is vaccine injured. And when I saw this, to me, it was just jaw dropping, because all the supplements and all the stuff that parents have to do for a vaccine child is just ridiculous, like thousands of dollars, and supplements galore and therapies galore and things like that. So I got it right away. So I'm here. I want to learn, and so I can use it, because it's a money saver, a time saver, everything. Just
yeah, exactly. And let's just see, because that's why I'm excited for this to be in your hands really soon. You just ordered it like yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I think like a day or two ago.
So it should be there by late Tuesday, I think, approximately. But that's what we'll do today. I'm going to walk you through this, give you a tour of the device, and do your scan from a distance. You're in Texas, what part?
Yes, San Antonio.
Yep, and I'm in Nashville. So yes, this works whether you were in Egypt or Hong Kong or San Antonio. It's just awesome. So we're gonna start with the inner voice, because we're connected. You're on this device on a Zoom call. You're not connected to this one yet. We're going to connect to this in just a minute. We'll start with inner voice. So for this one, on like distance ones, it has to be some other device. Or if I was calling you on this, I could have you talk to this device. So we're going to record your voice. Over 2,000 elements or octaves within the voice gives away what's going on in our emotional state. Just like a piano goes out of tune, our bodies can go out of tune with our emotions. And it's very subtle, but this is going to measure that and immediately create harmonizing frequencies. So this is going to be awesome for your son. I can't wait to see how this is for him. So before I hit go to record your voice, think of something that you love. Just kind of get that in your heart, something you absolutely love. And then think of something that you can't stand, drives you crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, opposites.
Okay.
Okay, and so now you're like ready to do this recording, and you'll start by saying, "My name is," and then you can talk about anything you want for 10 seconds. Y'all will see as the timer runs here. So you can start now.
My name is Susan Marie Hallam, and I love helping people. I love research. I love information. I don't like toxic people.
Yeah, I hear you. And there you can immediately see the results. And this is just showing what's high or low. So the ones that are more spiked up versus the ones that are more suppressed is where we want to bring more balance to the body.
Okay.
The key with this is balancing harmonics. Again, we just generated 4 songs. I'm going to turn it up a little bit for you. Of exactly what your body needs right now based on your current emotional state. So this is ideal to do first thing in the morning when you wake up, or right before you go to bed to have a great night's sleep. And anytime you're stressed or anxious, record your voice, play the harmonics. Now I want to make sure I'm sending you this email right now. Let me know if you got that email.
Okay.
And it will have those 4 songs with these balancing harmonics. So the only benefit to this scan is if we listen to those harmonics. So I will always encourage everybody, listen to the harmonics.
Yes, I got it.
Great. Okay. So in that, it also created reports of PDFs. The first one, as you see, is a detailed description about the inner voice, how it helps bring more emotional stability, creativity, all this good stuff. Then the next 4 pages are the fourth thing are more expressed emotions. You'll have descriptions about this, what part of the body it's affecting. And then it also describes an octave, a balancing octave, which was sent in one of those songs that you need, and then balancing color. In this first one, it says red or orange. And this is where we like to use some color therapy. We can use like colored glasses. You could wear like a red or orange color. The company does have some amazing ones in the back office. I got a cheap version, but whatever suits y'all best. So just there's so many different colors that you can wear that can be beneficial. So then those 4 things are right here, so you can look at those more in depth.
Okay.
Any questions so far?
Not yet.
Okay. Yep. It's gonna be so much information, so it may just be receiving, absorbing.
I do have some questions, but I guess we can address them afterwards. It's more of like some of the questions I have on the software and what it offers,
Okay, great.
like certain areas.
I think we'll answer a bunch as we go through. So great. So that's the first one. Then the next is vitals and comprehensive. For these 2, I need to call you directly.
Okay.
So this is where I just, within the phone, I go to like the main menu, and then I click on the phone here just to demonstrate all these things. And what is your phone number?
210-317-9576. And do I put this on speaker?
No, this is,
No.
yeah. You can put your cell phone on speaker for now. And then if you want to mute the Zoom once we connect, what's the number again? 210-317?
9576.
Great. Okay, so I'm calling there. Okay. Hello. Great. This is where
Hey, Julie, do we need to hear you? Because we can't hear anything.
when I don't, I get a weird echo this way. Let me see. Maybe if I unmute mine. Maybe try that. Oh, yeah, it's still echoing, but that's okay.
Maybe with mine unmuted and yours muted. I don't know. Can they hear it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's an echo.
That's bad.
So we may need to do some lip reading and have you just put it, we might just have to just watch what you do,
Okay, so you guys can hear me on the Zoom. Can you turn your volume all the way down, Susan, on your computer, not your phone? Yeah, you can like turn the volume off on the computer.
Okay.
Okay. Now you can hear me through the phone, or you can hear me through the phone now, right?
Yes.
We figured it out. Okay, so this is also, thank y'all for, this is a little learning curve because usually at this point, I'm just calling you, Susan, and we're not on a video call at this point. So I go to the vitals. This is going to be like blood work. We're going to scan over 620 elements of your body, and we could tick or untick different boxes here. That's not I like to do everything when I'm doing this. And see, this is, it's restarting right now. Sometimes this happens at random because this is what I like to call startup, part of the being patient with startup technology. And in this case, the app just restarted. So a little background on this. This was previously only available in a $38,000 machine, which is amazing, but most people can't afford that. So the founder wanted to create something that was handheld that everybody could enjoy at home. So he was able to get about 80% of that technology into this military grade cell phone. That's what we have right here. It weighs about twice as much of a normal phone, and it is waterproof. But we'll go ahead and do this vital scan. So I just tap on vitals, then I'm going to tap on scan and optimize frequencies. And at this point, Susan, you just relax. I like to put the phone down and almost take a step away because it's like this phone is interacting with your energy. So I want to be kind of, giving space for that energetically. So I'm going to do scan. That'll be about a minute, and then optimize will be about another minute. Can you guys see the phone at all?
Yes, that's perfect.
there we
And,
go.
and
There
does
we
she
go.
hold it to her
So
temple
maybe I can
like
just set it
you had me do?
like that. Ta-da, display. Okay. So you can relax, Susan. It'll be about a minute. Take a deep breath. You can tune into your body. So starting that scan now. Side note for those listening, this is usually where I'm preparing an email for the one that I am doing this so that I have their email ready to go and then send them a follow-up email immediately after the scan. Okay, great. And you can keep holding the phone like you were against your head. That's perfect. You could move. I'm sorry, I forgot this little nugget of an idea is that you can move it forward a little bit. And so it's resting on this bone. If we were in person, I would have you use this bone conducting headset, which comes with the phone. And just to show you guys how that fits on here, it can fit and just rest right in front of the ear. But that's what you're doing with your phone right now, Susan, is essentially using it in the same function. So I will optimize. And again, this will be another minute. Y'all can see right here what part of the body is being optimized. This is sending frequencies to the brain, and then the brain's relaying a message to those specific areas of the body, finding out what's out of balance, immediately getting feedback. And now we already did the first scan. The second scan, the optimization, is bringing balance, bringing more harmony to every element that we've scanned. Okay, great. So we just finished that scan. Immediately, I make sure that I email you the report. I tap on this, send that email, and then if you want to open that report, in fact, I'll open it here as well. Do you mind, by the way, Susan, if anyone sees your report?
No, I'm good. I'm
Oh.
fine with that.
Okay, great. So here, just click, looking back and forth. It does look like you can see it all right. So this is previous scan. This is what we did 2 minutes ago. This is the current scan after sending harmonizing frequencies to your body. So this, in most cases, you can see how the red turned to green. So that's awesome. Your body was helped by those frequencies. As we scroll through, we can also see there's some places where before and after it was red. So I don't know exactly what these are, but I think you would, Susan, like this one, total iron binding capacity. Are you familiar with that?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I just love that you have such a wealth of knowledge that you could go through here and start and get some real understanding of what's going on. And to note over time, is this element of your body consistently out of balance? This alpha linoleic ALA has to do with fatty acids or omega-3. This one's like showing red and red. So it's like, well, it's imbalanced at this moment. That's what it's showing. But we want to see, is this consistent over other scans? That's the beauty of owning a device like you all do. You'll soon have them in your hands. But then when you're like, I don't know exactly what that is, you can tap on the text and see. Most of the time there's an explanation here. Sometimes there isn't. But most of the time there's a description. Of course, you can always Google it and look that up. Now, sometimes you may see where the body temporarily imbalances, where it was green and then it moved to red. Just like after working out too hard and maybe the muscles are repairing themselves, or after an energy healing session, sometimes the body can feel a bit fatigued. That's a temporary imbalance. So, and as you've been scrolling through here, I bet, Susan, maybe on your computer, but do you see anything that's familiar or any observations?
Yep. Yeah. Wow. This is like really awesome because I'm looking through this and it tells me a lot. I was exposed to black mold for about 1.5 years and it was pretty massive.
Wow.
And I can see here where it's affected some of the areas.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
just gut and the cycle for your cell cycle. I'm going down, I'm scrolling through. Some of this is kind of scary too.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see how somebody, if they were more on the hypochondriac spectrum, that it would be too much information.
Yeah. Where was it? I just saw something here. There's some, I mean, it's pretty cool because in here it shows you what you're lacking to help detox your body.
Yes. Yeah.
And even, I mean, some of the stuff that's like, I guess, how can I say, accumulated in your body that needs to get out. And
also it can be, if you have taken too much of a supplement, it can imbalance. So it can, there's so much information here. So I'm not certified to interpret the data. No doubt you could give someone a lot of insight by reading through this. There will also be services in the future where we can send off our reports and get back a professional interpretation of this data. So, yeah. And this is something I recommend doing, the vital scan daily, or at very least the quick scan. And we'll wrap up with the quick scan today. But yeah, any other thoughts, reflections on this one?
It actually, in some of the stuff that I'm seeing, I can already think of some therapies that will help some of these improve.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I cannot wait to see how this affects you, your family. So cool. So we'll
very cool.
Good. I love it. So we'll keep going. I'm going back to the main menu. Next, because you're again connected to the phone, I'm going to go to comprehensive. And
okay.
I'm going to make sure. Yeah, I think that's all good. Oops. Here we go. So then intelligent scan is available. This comprehensive is like an MRI or a CT scan. We can focus on specific areas of the body. We can do your arteries in certain regions, specific chromosomes, connective tissue, ears, eyes, heart. And sorry, it's resetting. But so their full comprehensive is over 2,800 elements of the body. That is on the advanced level of subscription. And then each level of subscription, you just have more or less access to different parts of the body. So I think it's great to do a full comprehensive scan like once a month. But we don't need to do like the full body all the time. That's too much energy with all the frequencies. So what we want to do is just going back to comprehensive, one of these that's integrated with the things we just did, because we just did InnerVoice and Vitals. It's like it read what your body needs to bring more balance, and then it creates a intelligent scan so that it knows what parts of the body need like the most love, need frequencies today. So we'll do a complete scan. And by the way, if you guys are running demos and you want to just do a quicker scan for someone, you may just want to do a custom scan, and then you deselect everything and then just select a few things like ears, eyes, and heart and their spine. And then if we just did that scan and then optimization, that's only going to take like 2 minutes. But I'm going to give you the comprehensive and the complete scan. So I'm going to, and then it auto selects certain ones that your body needs. I'm going to start that scan now. And again, normally I would take a few steps away to just give a little more room, just energetically. And I also usually would keep other devices away from this. I just don't want any other energy sources connecting or interfering. How big of a deal it is if I stand 3 feet versus 10 feet away versus hold it in my hand, I can't tell you exactly, because these are just teeny little variabilities of potential accuracy. So it's not like absolutes. And you're just holding the phone against your head, right, Susan? Yep. Perfect.
Yes.
Great, great. Okay. And also, again, I would normally not be talking. I would just encourage, and I do encourage you, Susan, to just relax, take a deep breath, kind of tune into your body, see if you can sense anything. Most people can't sense anything during these, but some can.
Well, in the first one, I actually felt like I want to say it felt like a little pain in the back of my head, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's from that. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, exactly. It's possible. And I haven't had any negative side effects for people. I wouldn't recommend, right today, it's like 5 p.m. I wouldn't do these scans. I'm going to just start optimizing right here. So we did the scan, now we optimize. I wouldn't recommend doing these much later in the day, like the full scan we're doing right now, because it's a lot of energy. And I want you, Susan, to be able to sleep tonight. Because we are just doing these gentle, minute tweaks with these frequencies. So it really is amazing that we can access this. And a little more info. Again, we'd be being quiet at this time, but just to give you some background. So this is a combination of technology from Dr. Royal Rife. He discovered Rife frequencies, and Albert Einstein, and also Nikola Tesla. So different things they were working on is what came together to create this device, as well as a library of over 120,000 frequencies. The Russians were the first ones to isolate and categorize all of these different types of frequencies, and it found that these are the same in every person. So therefore, if we can find out what the frequency is, what the optimal optimization is, then we can therefore also find and send little frequencies that will help to bring it closer to a homeostatic state. So now I always immediately send those reports, as long as it's someone like yourself, Susan. Of course, you can look at these. There's only been a couple of times that I've talked it through with people. I'm like, do you need to see, or do you want to see all these fine details about your body? And sometimes it can be too much information. So yeah. So again, I just tap on reports down here, and this one's going to look similar. Previous scan on the right side. In the middle is after optimization. And you see at the top of each category, the different section of the body that's being scanned. Arteries in the head, for example, here is this section. And from ideal, 0% is ideal. So you moved from 45% to 32%. So that's great. That's a great improvement. Then we have all this numerical value. So number 5 is optimal. Number 9 is overactive or hyperactive, that element of the body. And number 1s are underactive or sluggish. So as I'm going through here, most of the time it will improve. It will move towards the number 5. Again, like we've talked about, sometimes it'll imbalance. As I'm glancing through, most of these were helped by the frequencies. From my basic, understanding or wanting to observe or use these, I'm looking for 1s or 9s to see what wasn't helped by frequencies, and then what could I do about it. So if you're curious about what part of the body is affected, you just tap on the text and immediately it renders, almost immediately, it takes a minute to load. It renders a 3D image of the body. There's no other device that gives you this much insight into the body. So here we have this artery. This is the internal carotid artery on the right side. And you can see it right here as we turn the body around. You can look at the 3D version. And then you can zoom out, zoom in. And then we can also layer and look at different views of the body right here. There's a little like button that you can slide up and down and then see different elements of the body. So if you've had like some inner neck pain or something, it could have been connected to that artery in some way. So you can, yeah. Have you ever seen anything like this, Susan?
No. I was telling Lee that I have a laser and I've gotten a Zyto scan, and both of the laser that I have actually goes off of right frequencies, but it's so antiquated compared to this. Like
Wow.
for a full session, it would take me about an hour and a half. with the
Wow.
laser.
Wow. Interesting. So this is kind of like lightning speed, huh?
Yeah, this is like, just like, you have no idea. It helps on even on a physical aspect, just because of the energy that you spend just doing an hour and a half session. It's very draining.
Yeah, I understand. And so, and I mean, you've worked with energy so much that you may feel some fatigue after this, because we're doing a lot energetically. But I also love, and do you do any types of energy healing?
Just the laser, basically, just through frequency, but nothing else. I had actually looked at doing the emotion code a while back, but I never really did it. And then I was recently looking at Tahili.
Yes.
I'm glad I didn't get it.
Yes. This is so fascinating. So this what was I gonna say about, that's another way to use this data is, as I love emotion code and body code. So, or working with any energy healer, you could say, okay, there's an imbalance with my right esophageal arteries. Can you see what's going on there? So with like emotion code, we can go ahead and just find out, are there trapped emotions there? Is it an inherited curse? Who knows? Let's just muscle test, find out that imbalance, release it. And so I feel like emotion code and body code just go so well with this, because, we're looking at arteries deep in your body, and it's kind of like, okay, well, what do I need to do to get to that? But it's great when we can use energy healing, or I always recommend prayer. Pray over that element of the body, speak life into it, speak life into those cells. So that's cool. Any other thoughts, reflections as we look over this?
This is this is amazing. I can't even tell. It stops shooting in the dark, and it takes so much time trying to figure out what's going on with your client. It can possibly even eliminate expensive labs.
Yes.
I mean, just the labs alone for one lab might be $200 to $500. And a lot of parents can't afford that because they're spending all their money on therapies or supplements.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nonstop. With like, and like you're saying, I mean, and you don't even know for sure it's going to work.
Yeah.
Combined with those labs don't send you healing frequencies afterwards. It's just a reading of a current state, I love that if all you did was run the scan and don't look at this at all, you are doing a wonderful therapy to help your body. So that's why I like to tell people, if this is too much information, don't worry about it. Like, just enjoy the therapeutic benefits of your device. If you want to dive into it, it's there. So cool. So this is comprehensive. And then I will hang up with you here. And then we'll just use the Zoom call right here. Okay, great. Okay, so those are the first 3, and then we want to move on to SEFI, Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter. And this is pretty much my favorite right here. So yes, we have these amazing menus, and there are other devices that do have drop-down menus, but ours are dialed in very specifically. You'll see here. But before I get into the menus, I want to show you how this is an imprinter. It's not just a frequency generator, which yes, this can generate specific frequency programs to anyone in the quantum field. This aspect, these like right scalar waves, were used to work on astronauts in space. That's where that's what the Russians were doing with all that information about 20 years ago. So before we get into those, we want to, let's say, use the imprinter so we can erase specific things like, for example, my ring here, this is gold and silver, and this is a great thing to put frequencies on. Any gold, silver, crystals, anything like that is great high vibrations for absorbing and retaining energy. These, I'd say they have a charge for approximately a week. If y'all do muscle testing, you can always muscle test. Do I need to recharge it or something? But before you charge it, you want to clear it. Also, the company does have, let me grab it for you. So I'm just showing all the details on this one. A specific bracelet. This is a silicone bracelet that also has 2 compounds in it, one of which is from an asteroid and one is a type of crystal. I don't remember the names, but I know that this retains a frequency for up to a month. These will soon be available in our back office, and you can get, what's great about these is they're going to hold that frequency longer. You can imprint more things, send this to someone that needs that support. Maybe a month later, they send it back and forth. If you only wanted, yes, what's that?
I'm sorry. No, I'll let you finish. I had a question about that.
Okay, sorry. Say that again.
No, I had a question, but go ahead and finish.
Okay, be sure to hang on to your questions.
Yes, I got it written down.
Yeah. So before we do anything with these, we want to get rid of the frequencies on it. I've actually charged this ring before today, so I haven't charged this. This, by the way, recharges in the sun. So this was in my morning sun for about an hour. I clear the energy from it, starting by just sitting it on top here. This takes about 20-25 seconds. It's until that thing implodes, until the screen on here is so sensitive. If you barely touch the screen, it like reacts. But I just leave it sitting there. I could do this with water and then it just imploded. I could do this with sugar pills. I would just set that glass of water right here and do that. Now, so I did the erase and then the imprint. I can just, if I had your jewelry, Susan, I would have it right here. I just did this with Edie, who's also on the call. We put her jewelry right here because all of the energy you need from those scans is present in this. I'm ready to go, be loaded here. Then I could start and it's receiving that. Another way you can use that, and then you just do it for about 10 seconds. And let's see, actually, I'm going to set this down so you guys can see it. So this is where I can put the water here and then put a favorite supplement here. And for all the supplements you're talking about that are so expensive, this is a great way to essentially stretch it energetically. I am imprinting the frequencies from this. This is one of my favorites onto this glass of water. So I do this for my vitamins, for my supplements I'm going to take, because doing like double duty like this is helping your body to already be prepared and absorb the energy from your supplements as well. So that is how that works. Generally, you would want to put the supplements in a little glass, some basic glass jar or like a shot glass. You'd put it in here versus the packaging. Just a little thing. Is this a huge absolute no? Nah, it's just varying degrees of accuracy. I just put it in the package right there. But there we go. So that is how the imprinter works. It's just the coolest thing ever, I think. I feel like we're in a Star Trek episode on that. Are you familiar with that kind of thing, Susan? Imprinters?
Yes, I've heard, there's different ones, different names.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what it is, the one that I know of. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, your mouth is, I mean, your tongue, what you speak, you can even do it to, I mean, it's not as advanced or as quick as this device, but even using your tongue for, either good or evil, it does the job.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, is that that we are all energy. We are communicating powerful good, or we can communicate powerful bad. And that's what this is like a dialed in version of certain frequencies of what could be communicated. So I love that. I'm glad you added that, because it's a great point that we've got to speak life.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, and that's similar in the work of Dr. Emoto on the water, that's the same thing. And that's why I feel like the joy of blessing the water when I'm doing this, of imprinting the resonance of gratitude, the resonance of love. And so over 500 other options. So we'll get into these options. This is Quantum Reach. This one, I think, similar to affirmations. It has lovely things like abundance, health, and so many things. I'll just scroll through here a little bit so you guys can see some of them. And then you can click on one of these and then either imprint it. So did you see one that you're like, I would like more of that?
Too many. I have a question about that though. When you were doing the bracelet.
Yes.
If you have an organ that's already charged, will it, I'm not sure if you know, but will it interfere with the energies that the organ already has if you want to imprint something else added to it? That's
a great question. The organ is a type of crystal, right?
Yeah, it's I don't have one here. I'm getting some shipped. It's I don't want to say knick-knack because it's not, but it's kind of like metals, a piece of art that has like certain metals and crystals in it.
Yes, I think, and it's like a little pyramid.
Yeah, so most of them are pyramids and some of them are like pucks.
Cool. Yeah, so it's innate qualities, the crystals that are in it, the metals that are in it are not going to be reduced when you clear the energy from it. You're just essentially clearing anything negative that's not intrinsic to its original property. So anything.
Okay, so it's anything negative. So it's anything negative. So it's anything negative. Check. Calm down. Sorry.
Yeah.
Negative that's erased or removed. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So My other question to that is, if you're doing a scan and you have an organ in the vicinity of the scan,
Mhm.
will that interfere with
I don't
anything?
think it would interfere. I think it would only add to the frequencies, just like having crystals or whatever. It just, I like to clear all these items so that they are, just with, let's say, my frequency or a blessed frequency. And that's why I like to put something here. And then I get their innate properties from their most basic properties. And then you can add frequencies to that, like that organ, you could imprint frequencies onto that. So it's great to do. You can really get carried away with, it's so fun. I mean, imagine, what do you want to have a certain frequency or resonance within your life? We can go ahead and put these frequencies on there. So this is great. Edie, did you want to ask a question while we're going through? And anyone, you guys who are listening, be sure you're writing down your questions, because I definitely.
I have an incredible testimony.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start crying. Okay, so I just met with Julie Hannah, and she did all the stuff, some crazy stuff that that it pulled up that she didn't know, of course. But anyway, the other thing I just happened to mention, oh yeah, I had COVID back in the end of October, beginning of November, and I have not been able to taste or smell significantly. I just came in my house and I was like, God, it stinks in here, because I had cooked fish last night. I made fish tacos, but I couldn't smell it before I left. And I came home and I was like, oh, it smells like fish in here. And I didn't even think I haven't been able to smell that, which is bad. I couldn't smell my own house. And I'm the oil lady with all the diffusers going normally. So it's pretty bad. But I know this isn't a healthy snack. Wasabi peas has been my thing that I test to see if my smeller and taster has come back. And it tastes just like eating nothing. They're kind of sweet, almost, sort of. They were so strong, my eyes were watering from the wasabi, and I have not tasted that. That's how I knew my smeller and taster was really gone, because I could take handfuls of wasabi peas and nothing. And they were so strong, I had to practically spit them out. So I, at least for sure, wasabi peas and stinky fish smell have my smell and taste back after November. I haven't had it since November. So.
And we did this scan how long ago?
An hour, 2 hours ago.
That's so awesome.
That's
So I'm literally crying, because I'm like, that's going to be the thing that my husband and my son will be believers now, and they won't roll their eyes at me, because they're always rolling their eyes at me.
Yeah.
But I mean, when people find this out, that I got my smell back and my taste back within 2 hours.
It's amazing.
Huh? And not only that, I tasted coffee. That lady gave me some coffee after you left.
Yeah.
She's like, we're about to throw this out. Do you want it? And I'm like, I guess so. Now it was light roast, which I normally would never touch. I mean, why? but I, you know what I'm saying? So, but I was like, I didn't even think about it then. Now I'm looking back, I tasted that coffee. Granted, it wasn't good because it was light roast and who knows how long it had been sitting there. I tasted that and it tasted like coffee. I had just got finished telling her, I can't taste coffee. So this is fast acting Tenactin right here. I mean,
it's amazing. Thank you for sharing. That is so cool. So you guys can see this is real time situations here. So let's look at these. I mean, like, all of these are amazing right here. And the ones that we just ran for you, Edie, was under the second menu. It's called Quantum Frequency. And this menu has 450 possibilities of things that could be going wrong. Allergies. I know of an amazing story from this last weekend with allergies. Aneurysm, enema, or anemia. Sorry. Oh man. All sorts of things. Arthritis, asthma, autism, back stiff, back pain, on and on. So you guys will have to go through this directory, get familiar with it, and then we can just turn on the frequency. So who knew? I did not know that you could, just the energy of things could be that impactful for people. So it's awesome. So what can we send to you, Susan? How could you be supported?
Um, I don't know. Let me see.
Is there anything out of balance that you're aware of you'd love to see?
I saw some stuff that I didn't know that kind of scared me, and I'm like, I was already experiencing like some liver pains for a few days recently, and I was like, okay, something's going on. But the other artery stuff is something like that's all the artery stuff is kind of scary because from what I know, that is I don't want to say genetic, but my family has had issues in that area. So I don't know, I guess pick something that has to do with arteries.
Okay. Yeah. And I do get a yes as well to do your liver. So like we could do liver inflammation or liver enlargement. And I get a yes for inflammation. So I just muscle test as I go through. So I'm just going to run this for just a couple minutes. This noise is not therapeutic. We want to turn that down. When we're running Cepheid frequencies, just turn them down. If you ever are going to turn it up a little bit, you could do that when you're imprinting. Again, how big of a difference is it if you have a little bit of sound or no sound? I don't know exactly, but I think it's best to turn it all the way down. You'll find those noises can be extremely annoying if you leave that volume on.
I have some questions. On the, I'm still learning what part, but the last ones you did where it, where you can, well, let me just show you these. I don't know, the ones with those. Why do on that area? Why do some go from good to bad?
Imbalance. Yeah, that's a great question. And it does, that happens sometimes temporarily. It should be cleared up, let's say by tomorrow, that your body will rebalance. And that is, again, that can look kind of scary if that was a permanent situation, but that's not, this is a snapshot of your body right now. And like we talked about, areas that have been healthy, sometimes the body will pull from those places to bring more balance overall.
Okay.
I'm looking into that question even more because I want even more scientific understanding.
Okay, now I have, if you don't mind, can I ask some more questions?
Yeah, and I'm just going to change this to something with your arteries as well. Arteries, yeah. Hardening of arteries or arthritis?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Great. Turning that on.
That's exactly what I saw that diagnosis on some death certificates in my family. So
let's just send your body some support in that area right now. So, and I like to sometimes when I'm sending frequencies for people, I like pray over them as I'm going because I like to just double duty, you know, that we're all in agreement that this is helpful. So what were you going to say?
Okay, like one of my questions is on the emotion code. Is that something that enhances this? So is it something that I should look into doing and getting certified so that I can, I mean, I don't know,
I think it's helpful. You don't have to go all the way through the certification to use it. So I got certified because I knew I wanted to do this professionally and add that as a practice. I had no idea it would become my career. I was literally stuck from doing other businesses and had hit my ceiling financially, stuck in cycles of poverty. And then this getting rid of working on myself is where I got it first and helpful of helping me break out of that. But it can be, I think it's a beautiful blend, these two practices.
Okay.
And you bring an extreme wealth of wisdom to this and I love that you can come alongside this and it's going to empower everything you're already doing. If as well as people who don't know anything can also benefit from, wow, for the first time, I can learn about my body in new ways that I never thought was possible.
Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, now, I know I asked this in one of the groups, the brainstem, pineal gland, the vagus nerve, medulla, the Broca's area, the Wernicke's area of the brain, all those. Is there anything that targets that? Because those areas are like huge with autism and brain injury and all that.
That's a great question. I mean, I would believe that if it's targeted for autism, then it's probably going to target those specific areas of the body.
Okay.
So, and same with comprehensive, you can target nerves in the head, arteries in the head, bones in the head, and just do those scans regularly in the comprehensive side.
And parts of the brain, is that part of that?
Brain,
No.
it just has brain in general.
Okay.
So, and then there's other things. There's things like a vaccine detox.
Okay.
So there, the resonance of certain things can still be active years later.
Yes. Now, all that, what we just talked about, is that in the basic? Or, like, because I don't want to not get something that I'm really needing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. So you can start with the basic, see exactly what it has. Because the separation of the 3 levels rolled out 3 days ago, I haven't seen it in action yet. So you let us know, and if it's not up to par, then yeah, you'll want to upgrade to the
Okay. Now let me see. Okay. I have a couple of more questions besides this one. For somebody who's nonverbal, or you just showed how to do it with somebody that's virtual without the headset, but for somebody who's nonverbal, what do you just record the noise they make? Like for example, my son, he lost his speech from the vaccine injury, and he was not, I think he was diagnosed wrong. Anyways, I'm not receiving any of that stuff because they diagnosed him as retarded. With Fragile X is what it's called. And I looked that up and I was like, what? He is super smart. Like even the pediatrician, freaked out on how smart he is. So I think he has something called apraxia, where the brain cannot translate, or the muscles aren't working together with the brain. And so I'm just wondering how y'all do it for nonverbal people.
And what is that one called again? Apraxia?
Apraxia, APRAXIA.
Okay. I don't see that exactly, but within the AO scan group, I Google that word, see if a post comes up. Oftentimes, if there's some experts who really know this device and know the things that could help with apraxia, and they will give you a list of, you're going to want to run these frequencies to deal with that issue.
Okay. So I post that or I look for that or post it in the official group?
Yeah, in the AO scan official group, you can do a search at the top of that group. Okay. And then there's so much information. If definitely look for any one of the former diagnoses that we would love to see some breakthroughs. So
Okay, one more question. I'm sorry, I'm full of questions.
great.
One more question with the supplements. Does it come with pre-loaded supplements? And if not, is there a way to upload bulk supplements by barcode or by somehow?
Yes, great question. So that's what I'm getting to. So we're still, there's still more. Oh, but there's more.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So I'll jump over there in just a second. I want to finish with Sephi.
I'm so sorry.
And yeah, it's just so many things. So we were just on the second menu here. We also have quantum affirmations, quantum flowers. If you're familiar with Bach flower remedies, you can come in here, choose whatever emotional state you're like dealing with, and then you could, it immediately generates a flower that flower essence that would be beneficial. Again, you can hit to imprint. It could imprint onto something, or it's sending the frequency of that to you. And then we are looking at getting a library of oils in there, but we want a company that's not attached to, it has to be our name or we're not doing it. That's not how our founder runs. He's about, this is about helping humanity, not protecting your brand. So we'll see when that comes about, but I know it's in his heart to do that. So all of the oils is a library. And then also quantum flowers, quantum chakras. So all the 7 chakras, then quantum homeopathics. This is where you can make your own homeopathic remedies, as well as send the frequencies of that to people. Again, you can make your own tinctures. There are videos on the Solex LLC YouTube channel that can give you more directions on how to create your own tinctures, or you put it on a bracelet, or you put it on the water. And then
This is too cool. I'm curious because this is everything, the last few that you went over, basically everything, the chakras, meridians, the flowers, the homeopathy, that's in the Zytoscan. So that's why I said this is like a whole bunch of cool technology and one advanced device. The only other thing I have a question is, does it have like on the reports or anything in it, does it recommend like certain therapies?
And not yet. So that would be a great next question, right? So we did the scans. So why wouldn't it just generate, you need these 6 things out of all these libraries. If I know Lauren Swenson well, he's going to have that.
Oh, that's like,
if I know, I mean, it's only been like 3 months, that we've been running with this company, but I know how he thinks, and I'm sure he's going to be thinking towards that. I can't guarantee it, but that's just one more way to make it even easier, and in that AI that generates exactly what we need.
okay, now, I'm sorry if I'm taking up time.
It's okay.
Now, when you talked about the oils, about them having their own brand, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
okay, because there's a
saying,
company that I know of that I use, and they're not MLM or anything. They don't, but they have a buttload of
yeah.
stuff I can't find anywhere else. I was just curious. I wasn't sure I heard that. Okay.
Yeah, it's I know that they're looking to partner with the right company that isn't going to be exclusive on the oil front, because there's some oils some companies have and others don't, and we want access to all of them energetically. But like your question, let's go back to your question. How can we load your oils? Can we load your
Yes.
supplements? And let me just show you one more. There's one more menu we haven't talked about. It's called the Homeo Energetics frequency. I love this one. Some of the things you would find on here: bacteria detox, thyroid support, candida detox, chemical detox. Another one is the vaccination detox, trace mineral complete, sleep easy, sinus plus allergy. every one of them are like, really? Because it's just, to me, a wealth of access to have the exact frequencies that my body needs. So that is all the Cephi. And then up here, just like this is where you would create your profiles. We have search existing clients or create new client or edit the current client or pets and animals. Yes, this does pets and animals. And then supplements and therapy. So we go to this one and we can add in your library of supplements. So we just add one by one. Yes, it takes some time in the beginning to add each supplement and then the dose you would take. So I go client specific and then I put in the details of the supplement and then we just scan it. I would have the item in a glass jar sitting right here. It's just a few seconds that it absorbs that frequency, dials that in, so to speak. And now the thing is, it can't yet save these to also then send them later. What this does, this element of having your supplemental library, is it will do on the quick scan. This is something you do that combines multiple elements of what we've done in the morning or the evening. Let's say I tap on morning, and then this is where your supplement library, your oils library, your therapeutic practices. You can even load things like red light therapy. Do I need red light therapy or a saltwater bath today? Or these different things. You can all have all that. And then you hit next, and then you record your voice for 10 seconds while you're wearing this, your bone connecting headset. And then it's going to generate a 10-second song, or I think it's a few minutes song. And then you want to listen to that song. And that's also going to send your body harmonizing frequencies. It will also show the color you need and the supplements that are highest and best for your body that day based on the scan that it just did of your body.
So the supplements there, you have to add them one by one. You can't do bulk.
You do need to add them one by one to start.
Okay.
And they don't have a library yet.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But again, it's
Wow.
round 4.
This is too cool.
A year from now, I think we're going to be in hyperspeed. I don't know how this could look primitive, but I think there's going to be a lot more. Because I mean, what are the next steps right here? This is for a thermography camera. That should be rolled out in the next couple months. That he's going to make these available. That's going to be about $2,000 for that thermography camera. If y'all are familiar with thermography, you can charge between $200 and $400 for a thermography scan. Of course, this has to be done in person. The other one is called InnerView. This is like an ultrasound.
Wow.
So if you wanted that kind of understanding of your body, that again, I think that'll be around $2,000 as well. These are extra devices that would connect to this. This is where for me, this is like having a home healthcare system.
Yep.
Emotionally, energetically, and when we change, as we know, when we change the energy, it changes our physical results so often, right, Edie? What? So yeah, any other questions at this point? Anybody who's still watching, thank you for being here. We're going to just do some Q&A back and forth of those of us that have been learning on this call, because there's obviously so much to learn here, and we'll just keep talking. But and if this is posted somewhere, wherever I've posted this, probably YouTube, you have more questions than this covers, reach out to me or whoever your upline or your success partner is in the company, and you can ask more questions. But I do always suggest going on the Facebook groups, AO Scan Official. You're going to find a lot of your questions answered there by just doing a search. There are other Facebook groups for AO Scan, and just search or ask your question. I just asked another one in that group today. I'm pretty sure I'm like the 10th person to ask it. I should have looked it up first. But there's some resources and there will be more. So yeah. So do y'all have any more questions as we're going through here? And how's this been for you, Susan? Like, how's this experience?
It's, I mean, I can't sleep. I'm actually working with a coach to help me put my program together so they can reach more clients online. And when Lee approached me with this, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, wait a minute, this changes everything, because it's going to be less time consuming for me. And I'm just like, oh my God, wait, I was looking for something like this.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad. I love Lee. She's she's an amazing.
I love it. And it's true. I was looking for, to me, this feels like an answer to many prayers on many levels. And I feel every few days or weeks, I'm like, this too. I've been wanting this too. Because we have different dimensions here. We have just the device and just your family. That's huge. If it's ever only that, that's a massive. And all these levels. And then yes, into the company, into your personal business and the people you're serving already, but also into the business side. It's a generous compensation plan. We barely scratched the surface because again, we're 3-4 months into it. So we're really just, there's no way to know the full potential, but from one of my closest friends, Steph Warner, if you guys have seen her, her husband has run the numbers and they've really looked at this and they're like, oh my gosh, this is massive. I've had others from other companies who know compensation plans and they're like, wait a second, what? Unlimited width and unlimited depth? How is that even possible? It's possible. They figured out a way, and that's why I'm excited to share this on so many levels, because like you're saying, Susan, let's save time. And as an energy healer, having worked 5 to 7 hours a day, holding space for people and helping them, that's tiring work. And to be able to have something, I feel like it's always been in my heart that something like this would exist. Like we knew somewhere in the future, the like far off future, something would come out like this. But we, as we like to say in the team, the future is here. The future is now. Going on my little tangents. So what kind of questions do you guys have?
Those are all the questions I had for now. Well, I do have one that just came up. When you send the reports to the email and you redo them, like say the next day, is that link different, or okay, so when you pull it up, it won't erase what was done before on the older link.
Yes, that's correct. So you can look back a month later.
Okay, cool.
That's been my experience so far, that I haven't had any problem accessing older scans. When I exit your profile, I won't be able to access anything we just did. It's only accessible from the link that was sent to your email. So I love that it's totally private. You're the only one with that access. I will be deleting your profile off of my phone because I know you're getting one. So I want to make sure within, let's say, the system in general, we want to just get rid of the profile that's on mine. So I have to do that with each of you guys. But yeah. So it's private, and the only time and that's really important that we communicate to those that we work with. I really recommend creating or downloading within the back office the waiver, because we want to protect ourselves as we do these things. Have that on hand because you're going to want to do scans on the fly. I do not leave this at home. It's heavy, but it comes up in conversation and it's fascinating. I was at an entrepreneur event, and before you know it, I have a line of people that everybody wants to scan. and it's awesome. I do also, just side note, on all the experience, I've done a lot of scans with a lot of people. The best way to share and present this is with honor and respect for it, and not as much casual on the fly. Unless it's somebody who already gets it and is sparking with the understanding of frequencies, then you can be like, hey. And but most people, they need some kind of reverence in a container of time that's specific for you're doing the scan.
Julie,
Thank you
did
for
you
doing
say,
this.
I'm sorry. Did you say something about the a waiver?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, I don't know anything about the waiver. I don't
Yeah.
know how I missed that.
We want to, and that's also going to be part of our team. Like, I've got to add that to our checklist, really. Everyone, it needs to sign a waiver before they do a scan with us, an official scan. It ideally, I mean, that's just best practice, because we need to emphasize, re-emphasize, underline 100 times these words that are right here on the device, which is the AO Scan Mobile is not a medical device and does not diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. And then it mentions additional hardwares required to use the thermal view and interview. So yeah, you can find it in your back office under tools and documents. There is great information under all those documents. I think their next step is they really need to create those videos. What's that, Edie?
Thank you so much for doing
Little
this.
hand raising thing. That's so funny. So let me turn on the basketball game. So the sorry,
If you need
the
to go, Susan, it's totally fine. I mean, this is our Saturday, but it's so good.
mine is just a really quick business question, since you brought up the waiver. And so I just thought real quick, what if we don't call it, like we wouldn't call them clients, or, well, we could call them clients, we couldn't call them patients, but of course, but what do you call the scan? Like a wellness, I mean, what would you refer to the scan as?
I call it a therapy. I focus on this as an educational device. You'll see within the company, we say again and again, this is an educational device to gain more insight into your body. And then what you choose to do with that education is up to you.
And I think that is what iToby calls it too, an educational device. When I used to have that, well, I still have it. By the way, everyone, the iToby is not even in the same ball field, not even the same town as this machine, and it cost $200 more. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I've heard that about, there's another device similar to this, that it's not like a cell phone. It is cool. This is an actual cell phone. You're getting another phone line. If you're within the US, you'll get a T-Mobile phone line. If you are outside the country, this still works on Wi-Fi, and wherever you've got a strong Wi-Fi connection, you can use your device. You do still have to sign up for a subscription, because that's getting you access to all the upgrades that come out, and just keeping everything really current. So, yeah. Any other questions, thoughts? And we could wrap up.
I just wanted to say thank you for doing this, all of you ladies.
You're welcome.
Yes,
You're
thank
welcome,
you so
Susan.
much.
And
Thank you so much.
And thank you for letting us record, because I know this is going to help empower people that you know later this week. And so on and so forth. And even just sharing your testimonies, it's really, really amazing. So this, as you guys can tell, there's going to be more training videos and so on, but
Julie, I have one more question. I'm curious, is there a map that you know of to show like where the purchases have been, or who has, like where the devices are already? Because I was like, I might be the first person in Arkansas, and she might be the first person in Texas. And I was just curious about that, because,
yeah.
even being in a company where we're like literally at the very beginning of it, at the very top, it's like being in Rodana Fields or something, like the first few months that it started, which is crazy to me. That blows my mind too. And I just think it's going to be everywhere soon. But
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
excited. Our team is like ready to roll with this, that we're the first people that know about it. That's so cool.
It is. It is so cool. And there's not a map that I know of. When I called actually back in December, because there was like early releases. The official launch was in January, but it's been out till around September is where people started to get it in their hands. I got it in my hands beginning of December, and I called around that time, and there were two other guys in Nashville. The sweet older gentleman on the phone's like, "Hey, do you know these guys? They have it down the road from you." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." But now I think it's grown so much, but this is until like the last 2 days. I haven't done one with someone locally in Nashville. For the most part, I've done friends that I knew, but this is clearly spreading really quick. So you guys sit down, make your list of your top people that you know are going to be sparking with this idea, and go from there. Yeah. So you may be the first one there in Jonesboro, Lindsay.
Definitely
So-
here. I am the first.
And please keep in mind, my business has grown entirely online from a distance. And then whenever you do a scan in person, be sure to have their jewelry or something they're wearable. I love to have them have something to take away so that their jewelry is imprinted as well. Because we did some awesome things on Edie's jewelry today, as well as Lee's yesterday. So let's just see how these things affect over time. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. You amazing innovators, pioneers. We'll connect again soon. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye.